Hello, we're back again to do a unboxing and review of the new Broadway limited Kenefick cars. HO Hobbies just sent me these two cars that I had on pre-order. As always, they delivered quickly and packaged well. So on the top car here, we have the Bush Funeral Train Car. The reason I wanted that car was I actually chased Big Boy when they brought Bush's body back to College Station for burial. And it has sentimental value to me as far as actually having seen that train come to College Station for his final interment. And then the second car we have here is the Big Boy Drumhead car. And this particular one has significance to me because we chased Big Boy as it came down through Arkansas and down through Texas, and then back from Texas, Fort Worth, and then back up to Muskogee, Oklahoma. And so just these two cars just serve good memories to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox them and let you see how they're packaged, and then we will go. They say they have some nice light features on them. We will explore that and see how that works on the track. This is the George Bush Funeral Train Drumhead car. It's got a plastic sleeve on it, so we'll remove the plastic sleeve. Flip up box with a clamshell, it looks like. And then the back of the clamshell, see what we have here. We have a become a part of the Conductors Club flyer. You have a breakdown view of the car parts. And on this side, it has the instructions on how to operate, turn on and off the various lighting functions. And then we've got a advertisement for the Fox River Theater car that I also have on order for later this year, and also the Power car. On the clamshell, we lift off the top. Pull up the plastic. And carefully lift the car out. Okay, so first we're going to look at the underbody detail. Okay, we've got our kitty coupler, style coupler, air hoses with silver lead and line hands. These are the bottom of the steps. If you were to open up the observation platform, we have copper or bronze contacts on the 6-wheel truck for electrical transfer. Have battery boxes, accessories, air tanks, probably a potable water tank. Got a red decal here. More battery boxes, air conditioning. And then at the far end of the car we have another 6-wheel truck with phosphor bronze pickups, Katie style coupler. First off, I noticed that if you saw the previous review on the Fox Valley models, although it is not as free rolling as the Fox Valley models passenger cars are, it is a much improved rolling resistance compared to previous runs of Broadway limited cars. Starting at the rear of the car, you have an antenna and conduits, a vent, more antennas, more vents. I believe these are radio antennas and a vent. Another pair of radio antennas here, if I remember correctly. This is the Kenefick car, and this is the Bush Funeral Train Drumhead. The paint is evenly applied, a nice finish, semi-gloss, and you can see that a lot of the car body, underbody detail shows up in the side view. The red stripes are nice and straight. We appear to have what's considered black rubber gaskets around the windows. And you can see the interior chairs and appointments in the car. Hand grabs. A mirror, apparently. We have a rubber diaphragm, a door with a glass window in it. Again, you can see the coupling air hose with the silver glad hand, Katie style coupler with the spring, nicely detailed. We're going to stay zoomed in on it at this point. The Kenefick right there, Union Pacific. We'll see here after a while how it matches up with some of the other Broadway and scale coat cars. What the overall car looks like. You've got your 6-wheel trucks that are painted silver. And again, as I said, they roll pretty smooth, but they're a little bit more draggier than the Fox Valley Models cars are. We're looking at the observation end. We have these finely detailed railings. The George Bush Drumhead. We have ditch lights here, here. We have an uncoupling lever here, metal handrails or hand grabs, and again I think this is a mirror, probably for people sitting here to look forward as they go backwards down the track. You have that decking in here that's the tread mark type decking. Here we have a green and a red, I guess those would be called marker lights. And then the interior is lit. And that's the pretty part of the car as far as otherwise it looks pretty much like a standard passenger car. Then you can see the decals there, how nicely they're applied. Have some decals also, I guess possibly on battery boxes or here, a little extra detail. And then the car number. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the coupler height. And the coupler height, the air hose is a little low, about the thickness of the hose gauge. So we're going to and now that we've adjusted the observation end air hose, the coupler height looks to be perfect. On the forward end of the car, the air hose is perfect, and also the Katie coupler height is proper. We're going to zero set our scale, and the Bush car weighs 6 and 5/8 ounces. Well, you may be thinking that this car looks sort of like the previous car, the George Bush Funeral Train Car. And you would be correct. This is the Big Boy Drumhead Kenefick car. Details on the sides, we got our metal hand grabs for boarding. We got also down here we have a couple of hand grabs for getting up on the roof to do servicing, I suppose. The rest of the side detail, we have our steps, underbody detail, decals here probably for the battery box, and 6-wheel trucks, passenger trucks. Looks like the same diaphragm and detail on the car, lift rings, radio antennas, a handheld to get up on top of the car, the vent, and then we can see the lounge chairs and the sofas for the big wigs to be comfortable in. Have intricate railing detail, tread on the platform, metal hand grabs, conduits, ditch lights, drum head. We're going to zoom in on that drum head and just see how. So that's a big boy drum head. And we have a red green marker light here. I think we already pointed out the ditch lights, silver door, handrail or railing, decorative railing around there. It's all very intricate. Hand grabs, decoupling lever, air hose with silver glad hand, Katie style coupler. Katie style coupler, boarding step platforms, trucks that have a phosphor bronze, electrical pickups on a 6-wheel truck, air tanks, possibly a water tank or air conditioner. Battery boxes, 6-wheel truck with electrical pickups. Okay, on the observation end, we're going to check the coupler height and air hose height. It's virtually perfect. The reason you like to have that air hose at the proper height is so that it doesn't catch in your, when you go over a turnout. You don't want the air hose to grab the turnout, especially if it's going in reverse, because it'll cause a derailment. But unless everything's insulated, then you can also get a short. There's a little decal here at the bottom of the door that says Kenefick on it, on the silver door. And the coupler height and the air hose height is basically perfect. So out of 4 couplers, we had one with a low air hose. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to weigh this car. First we're going to turn on our scale. Okay, 6 5/8 ounce. So now we're going to take both these cars to the layout and see how the lighting functions work. Okay, now we've placed the Kenefick car, and this is one for the Bush Funeral Train on the track. We're going to apply power. Okay, so when we apply power, we've got our marker lights, we've got our ditch lights, we've got the drumhead interior lights, and also it looks like it has sort of lighting under the end of the roof to light the deck area. So if we touch the car down here, that turns off and on the ditch lights. Right here turns off and on the interior lights. Okay, that turns off and on the green light. I think right here. Whoops. Right there in front of the vent turns on the red light. Right here on top of the antenna turns off and on the drumhead light. So we're going to turn all the lights back on again. Where's green? The green's right here. There we go. And let's see here. Yes, there are lights underneath the roof to light up the observation deck. Now we've got the Big Boy Kenefick car on the track. We're going to apply power. You can see the Big Boy Drumhead, the red and green marker lights, ditch lights, the light underneath the rear roof of the car. The operation of this car is going to be identical to the previous car, so we won't go through that again. Look at the interiors, the detail, high seat chairs, black gaskets around the windows, boardroom table coming up here. "119" car number. Okay, if you notice on the scale trains water tender, the color is a little bit less vibrant than it is on the Broadway Limited Kenefick cars. So, you know, it's not much different, but it is, the scale trains tender looks a little bit more faded, whereas the Kenefick cars appear to be a little bit more brilliant in their colors. Hope you enjoyed the review of the new Kenefick cars from Broadway Limited. Have a good evening.